Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to evercrisis. We're going to be talking about Crash Battle Sephiroth. Ridiculous fight. I went in with two people that have maxed out Sephiroths. This video is more to show you exactly what the fight has, what to expect, all the phases, and kind of give you an idea of what's going on, but mostly just to show you the full clear and give you some kind of guide for now. This is just something I just finished streaming not too long ago. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I gotta wake up, put the kids to bed. Not to bed, to school. So I want to get this one out just for now, so there is something. And then tomorrow I'll be recording my actual runs on the EX3, and then there's the 170k or the other one for the title or the little icon. So I'll have all that done tomorrow. For now, enjoy this run, take what you can from it, because there is a lot of good information, and enjoy this crazy fight. So let me talk about this fight. It's crazy, it's hard, it's definitely ridiculous. I got to run with J&B, or you guys would know him in-game as Hal9000, and Johnbatista. Both of them have very powerful Sephiroths. This isn't a free-to-play guide or anything. Even though my account is free-to-play, the two people that ran with me have like fully maxed out Sephiroths. It's more of a, this is what you have to expect, this are the phases, this is what the enemy does, so on and so on. Now, I was healing only for 1409. I have over 6,000 HP, which is like necessary for this fight. My sub weapons are all pretty much the free-to-play ones that you get from the event, plus another one that boosts HP, which is Arif's gloves. It gives boost HP plus 32, rocking me into that nice category to survive the hits, 36 points. So I'm healing for 1409 on one extra copy of Fairy Tale, so there's only 2 copies there. And then I'm bringing the defense so that we don't get killed in one shot. Everything else here, materia-wise, it doesn't matter that it's 4-star. All that matters is the healing stat and HP stats on them. That's what I did. I just put on whatever was best, and it was nice that these are my rune spells at the same time. Heal 3.3. Magic doesn't matter. Magic defense and physical defense does matter if you want to survive hits. Same thing over here, heal 3.1, magic defense, that's all that matters on this setup. Surviving the hits was the hardest thing in this fight. Besides that, it was just knowing the timing, using your stance properly, and everything else that I'm going to show you. Arif's costume can either be the beach one, which increases my HP over 6,000, or I went for healing. We need the heals. I was a very weak healer, but I still ended up doing it, so that's what my Arif looked like, and this is the fight. Alright, so this is a run that I did earlier today on live stream. We have Hal and we have John. This is the full run. I'm going to show you step by step. This first phase here, when he's casting Heartless Angel, or Archangel, we're getting Hal and John to buff themselves with their magic, and they get the HP regen because my heals aren't good enough. So before that goes off, they already have their buff. And that way, when we come from Heartless Archangel, which is basically a gravity spell that puts you down to 1 HP, we need them to get back up close to 3,500 and myself. So you're going to see them super heal themselves over here. And we do have them running both cures on their setup. So they have a full DPS setup and they're both running a cure. I'm doing the AoE cures. They heal me, heal John, and that's enough to survive this. The more magic defense you have, the more you'll survive this Shadow Flare. And you can tell that it's magic with its name right above as he's casting it. So you know if you have to cast a barrier. See, Shadow Flare has a little wand. You're going to see it right here. Has a little wand. That means magic. If it was a sword, that's physical. Thank you, Serge, for pointing that out. So we end up surviving this barely. And then my heals are not that great of a heal. So yeah, that phase is when you see the Archangel, that's going to lower everyone's HP down to 1 in the beginning. Later on, it's going to be single target. And then he just goes after everyone, attack after attack after attack. And my only job here is to keep on healing. Just keep on healing. There's nothing else I can do. We're going to get ready for multiple phases. And Hal and John's whole setup is to make sure their attack stance is going to be fully built with their buffs so they can get Shiva's Elt as soon as possible. But during Octo Slash over here, the person they're targeting is Hal. You see that little orange? We're going to make sure they're full HP right away. And this is the entire fight. Whenever he's casting Octo Slash, it is so much damage, and that's why you need that 6,000 HP. That's without any defense barrier. All I have is Saving Grace. I don't have a barrier on me, which a barrier probably would have been better, but it also took one of my materia slots and my HP would have been too low. So we're using Saving Grace. Now, during this phase here, you could bring a wind setup to stay in this phase as long as possible and just DPS, but since we're trying to DPS and get out here quickly, we're all breaking You should switch to defense during those attacks to reduce the amount of damage your healer has to heal. But for the most part, we all stay in attack mode, so we always have max damage. If you're not surviving these hits, you should be switching defense every time he does a hit. But if we stay in attack stance, we get that 65% boost in damage. So that's really, really important to remember that everyone has to be in attack stance. Even when you're doing your solo run, attack stance has to be full barred in order to get that big boost. If not, we're not doing enough DPS, and the longer the fight, the less, the more buff Sephiroth gets, the less chance of us surviving. So they had to make sure that they had their buff on, ×3 buffs. They had to make sure everyone's attack stance was fully maxed out in order to do this damage right here. And there was a couple times, and we ran this 6 times at full length almost, because we always got close to the end and lost. But this does about 88,000 to 97,000 most. So we got about 86,000 here this time, because there's like a little chance of like a higher damage, low damage. But after that phase where we sigil break, we're now going through a bunch of attacks. Sorry about that. I just had a coughing fit. I'm a little, my throat's been hurting me recently, so I can't talk for too long. But Octo Slash, whenever this comes up, the person they're targeting, again, which is Hal up here, we're going to make sure they're full HP. And if they're full, I get to cast a barrier on them. And you can see that he has a barrier and a mana barrier. So the Octo Slash is physical, because you can see the sword, so all you need is barrier. So he survives. That did 4,509 on the second Octo Slash. And that just gets worse and worse and worse. So you got to make sure that person has at least a certain amount of HP. Now, during this phase, we just all had our own sigil. So one character had circle, one character had triangle, and the other character had the X sigil. And then the opposite, we carried triangle on one of them and a circle on one of them. So that way that we all covered one at least, especially Sephiroth can break X sigil by 5. I could break by 3. So you had to make sure every person had one of each and then one extra if they could hold it. And that's what we had. So during this phase, we're getting ready for summons. Summons are coming back. This is why very important to just constantly use them as soon as they are up. So they should be get ready to buff themselves and stay in attack mode. And because I have a heal here, we can actually wait until Heartless Angel comes up. And it's only going to target Hal. So Hal's the only one that's going to go to 1 HP because this one is an AoE. The next one that is AoE is a very important phase, and I'll talk about that when we get there. But now we just got to make sure that John buffs himself. He's not buffed yet. Once he's buffed, we're going to go into a triple limit break here. So I'm not going to cast my heal. We're just going to wait, make sure all 3 attack stances are on. They're going to go into limit break. I'm going to start it off with a heal, so we get the multiplier of 1.25. Because this is a DPS race. I did a run where we did double healer, and John was the only DPS, and we got it down to a quarter HP. And me and Surge were free to plays. Well, not free to plays. Surge buys Battle Pass, but he has an account that's pretty much like mine. And we got it down really quickly with double healer, but the timer came up saying you have a minute left, and then we got slaughtered. But because we have 1.25 bonus up there now, we're doing 97,000. And this is where I heal now. The rest that I couldn't heal. Octo Slash is targeting Hal. Hal gets full HP heal because he also has a cure. I need backup heals there. And I believe he dies anyways because he forgot to put himself in defense mode. You see right there? Right there. He didn't have defense mode. He was in attack stance or he would have survived that. So even with that death, we're near the end. It didn't matter too much because our limit break was already gone. So we didn't lose limit break bar. He just lost his buff and his ATB gauge from recharging. So this is the phase where he attacks, he hellgates, he stuns us, and you're just trying to go through this. The part that's really important is this part right here. This is the next Heartless Angel AoE, aka the gravity spell down to 1. So what's really, really important here is that we don't use anything. No long animations, no buffing. We are just going to break the Masamune right here's phase. We don't have any diamond sigil breakers, so we know that when he does his next AoE gravity spell, Archangel, we have to save all our ATB gauge so we can just spam that. And now we can recover, now we can heal, they can go back into buff phase during the break, and now we're full DPS again. Right away, he's going to do another Octo Slash, After that, Archangel AoE. We stun him. We stop his Masamune. And then he does another Octo Slash. Octo Slash is targeting me down here. We already established that I'm gonna die, so there's no point healing me. There's no point defense on me, right? So they're gonna continue doing DPS. And as long as they continue doing DPS, I get a raise because it's my first time dying. They're gonna get their Shiva up, and they're gonna Diamond Dust and finish us off. But there is another phase where we can stun him, and that's where we're about to hit. So after he does that Octo Slash, if the person he targeted hasn't died yet, great, revive him. Here comes the Hell's Gate. Hell's Gate kicks in. And if we get past this point, this is where we get another just break. Don't use anything, no heals, no nothing. I survived with 3 HP, by the way. Because there's another one. So after the big Archangel, he does a bunch of attacks. After Octo Slash, and then when he does Hell Gates and he stuns us, that's his second phase that we have to quickly break them. And now because we stun them, we break them, they're both buffed, they have Diamond Dust back. That is the end of the fight. So the key things here are obviously have really strong friends, but the fight system works kind of the same as in the other solo parts, where you got to face the EX3, the one for the title. This is pretty much the fight. You get that first initial Archangel into the Shadow Ball, the one that takes away big damage, right? You got to heal up immediately from that, have enough HP to survive. And then the second big AoE Archangel is when he goes into that phase, and you got to save that ATB gauge. If you don't break him, you're pretty much dead. There's too much damage coming through. But that's the entire full clear. Again, thank you guys for being part of the live stream if you were there. And thank you again to Hal and John. That thing was crazy strong. We still got an S rank off of this. And we got the title or icon and everything. Incredible, incredible fight. I really enjoy these. Obviously, I got carried. I'm not saying that I did any work here. Besides, I knew the strategy. I was timing everything with them, telling them when to buff, when not to buff, when to go in, right? But they had all the damage. Without them, I couldn't get this. It looks really cool. I'm super happy about this. And tomorrow I should be having a guide out on the EX3 to kind of give you again that rundown of each phase. But hopefully this helps you out a little bit. And if not, I hope you enjoyed the entire fight in itself. So that's pretty much everything. Tomorrow I'll have the other guides out on the other ones. Hopefully it isn't too crazy, but it does look really crazy. But level 55 is around the corner. Don't forget, right now we're all level 50. Level 55 will open up a lot more HP, a lot more damage, a lot more defense. So that'll definitely help. For now, this is like early by a day, and it's just showing a really, really strong battle. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell y'all later.